Have you ever wondered what happens after YouTubers dupe on Minecraft servers? Where are those servers we duped on now, months or even years later? Were they actually destroyed by our dupe? Did they lose all their players or shut down? Were they involved in other shady practices or scams? Or are they doing even better, completely unaffected by the chaos we caused? Let's go back and revisit the Minecraft servers we duped on. Almost exactly a year ago today, we duped on the Donut SMP, twice as a matter of fact, as we came back again a bit over a month later. And now, over a year later, the server is doing better than ever. Around the time we first duped on the server, it was seeing player counts between 50 and 200, relatively small but still decently active. Since it has become the biggest Minecraft SMP there is, with it being well known across the Minecraft community, especially on TikTok. Earlier this year, it was regularly peaking at over 7,000 players online at the same time, even hitting record numbers above 8,500. This is extremely impressive, and regardless of what you think of the server, getting a Minecraft server to gain this much popularity in mere months is a feat very few, if any, have accomplished. I really need to drive home just how impressive this is, as there are very few Minecraft servers in existence, especially today, which can even come close to a 5-digit player count, with only about 3 servers right now being able to do so consistently. The server is still pay to win, and overall we likely had absolutely zero impact on the server in our time duping, and these days the player count still remains at a very impressive 1 to 3,000, meaning it still is the biggest SMP there is, and doesn't have any signs of slowing down anytime soon. The next server is one renowned for being the worst of the worst, the most predatory pay-to-win server of them all, and also being damn near impossible to dupe on. Purple Prison has only continued to live up to its reputation. By far the fastest server to ban us, taking only 4 minutes after we began duping and distributing to shut the server down, Purple Prison still remains almost identical today to how it was when we first duped on them, and how it's been for years now, as a matter of fact. This server is incredible in regards to the fact that it just never changes. The spawn has been the same for years, the prison game mode grind has been the same for years as well. In fact, practically the only thing that's changed are the number of cosmetics or pay-to-win items they add to their store. Yet, it's clearly working, as the server's player base remains at a stable 1 to 200 when you remove the obviously faked players. And not only that, but as we found out a couple months ago now, from tracking all the purchases made on the server store, the server makes around $30,000 a month, 5 to 6 times more than most servers its size do. As we also found out, the server seems to make a large portion of that revenue from a select few individuals, 3 of which spent over $1,000 on Purple Prison alone in just the 30-day period we tracked the server. Do you know how insane that is? The fact that there seems to be dozens of individuals spending hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a month on Purple Prison is crazy. And when you factor in the fact that these players may be spending just as much every other month of the year as well, it only continues to be clear why Purple Prison manages to rake in so much money without making any changes. As far as our duping damage goes, we made them do a 2-hour rollback, and even though Saucy1 kindly asked them to remove all pay-to-win features off their server, they unfortunately did not comply. So basically minimal to no damage once again. Purple Prison is seriously impenetrable. Melon SMP is a server we had quite a lot of fun duping on, drinking invisibility potions and duping right under the noses of the staff, probably the funniest dupe I've been involved in. Visiting their website now, and what's this? 360 players online? When we duped on their server, it was only averaging about 50 to 75. What the hell happened? Oh, never mind. It's spoofed. Now, this server isn't the biggest fan of me, clearly, and the almost entire day of downtime we caused. After being banned on 5 accounts, make that 6, and logging onto the server, it's pretty clear that almost nothing has changed as well, with the only notable differences being the 9 new crates they added. The player count today has dropped off quite a bit though, with the server only seeing around 10 to 20 people online daily, and their Discord seeming quite inactive as well. In fact, upon talking to players on my 6th, make that 7th, account now, a player even said in the chat how the server really died. To be fair, the players who were playing were pretty friendly, although some were just as incoherent as they were when we first duped on the server a few months ago. However, most interestingly and unbeknownst to us at the time, the server actually had a very controversial history, which was revealed by the YouTuber Caleb is Salty a few months after our dupe. You can watch his video if you are curious, but to summarize, the server prior to us duping on it was regularly seeing player counts well into the hundreds and was founded by an individual who also became infamous last year for buying a verified Twitter account to promote their server through liking every tweet related to Minecraft. The server was extremely financially successful in early 2022, making anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 a month, but the original owner would be bought out and thus left, and the new ownership did not update the server, and as such it lost a lot of its players around mid last year, only continuing to further decline to where it is now. I also tracked how much the server made earlier this year when it was still getting upwards of 50 players daily, and it made almost $4,000 that month, which is decent, but a far cry from its successful days, which now it seems to have only strayed further from. ZDarMC is the one server which we actually managed to negotiate with the owners and get something removed. Just like how I negotiate with you guys to remove those other bad servers from your server list and add my SMP, OG-network.net, a server with both crystal and normal PvP, a player-run economy, and much more. Bedrock players can join as well. Oh, and be sure to subscribe. No pressure. Anyways, ZDarMC is overall a very decent server, and their pay-to-win mechanics are all fine in my opinion, with my only issue being the presence of crates and crate keys, which is what we targeted when we duped on them. Around the time we duped on the server, there was a crate known as the Mystery Crate, where the potential rewards were completely unknown, you couldn't even preview them, which is what we negotiated to get removed, and they nicely complied, and to this day, it's still gone. The server is still as active today as it was when we first duped on them almost a year ago as well, seeing anywhere from 100 to 300 players daily. ZDarMC is probably the only server we had an impact on, and except for the crates and gambling, I'd say it's probably one of the best servers in this video, being very well rounded with a good balance between pay-to-win perks that keep the server up and running, while also being not overbearing and predatory like Purple Prison. And if every SMP were like it, the Minecraft multiplayer landscape would be much better in my opinion. Lovercraft, the large Minecraft YouTuber Loverfellas server, is a server which has been targeted quite a lot in regards to dupes and crashes. Our duping session on their Skyblock game mode a couple months ago was cut somewhat short, as their very on-the-ball staff detected our extreme amounts of shulker boxes containing duplicated items and proceeded to ban all of us. We would end up returning again not too long after, and after a close call where we were almost banned again, we would manage to finally distribute a significant number of spawners. Now, today the server's player count is marginally lower than it was when we first duped on them, seeing 100 to 200 players online daily, and this marginal decrease may be due to the fact that Skyblock, the game mode we originally duped on, is not nearly as active. Now, I doubt we were the sole cause of that. I know a lot of other people duped on the server after we did as well. It was probably just coincidence, but it is interesting regardless. Loverfellas Survival server though is still going well and making a very healthy amount of money, and once again, besides the gambling and crates, actually probably has one of the best cosmetic monetization systems I've ever seen on a server, featuring a variety of custom very high detailed cosmetics with a rotating item shop like you see in many big games today. Loverfella himself even DM'd me after the dupe and was a good sport about it, and made it clear to me how much he spends on server maintenance and development, which, while I won't mention due to privacy, is a very substantial amount. And finally, we have Fantasy Cloud, the most recent server we paid a visit to, and one of the last remaining 1.8 faction servers. This server was by far the slowest when it came to banning all of us. In fact, I even managed to come back and dupe the next day. Now, while unintentional, we did manage to get the server to disable crates, as they removed the entire crates command, meaning there was no way to open them at all. And after our dupe, the server actually went down for a few months, not coming back up until about 2 weeks ago now, to where the server is seeing 100 to 200 players online daily. Crates are back, and the server seems to be doing arguably better than it was when we first duped on it. So let's evaluate. Did we do any long-lasting or even short-lasting damage to any of the servers we duped on? If it wasn't obvious already, duping on servers rarely ever does any damage long-term. I mean, besides wasting a few hours for the server to roll back, we didn't do any damage at all. Which isn't a surprise to me at all, by the way. This isn't 2011. You can't grief these big servers anymore. And running my own server, OG-network.net, I also understand that players can only do extremely limited damage. So you may ask what the point of making these videos even is. I mean, my stance on pay-to-win servers has even changed, where I think it's fine to some degree, but still dislike gambling, but that's a video for another day. And it's simple. Duping on pay-to-win servers and talking about how bad real money gambling is by far the best way to raise awareness to you guys who are these servers players on what not to waste your money on. Realistically speaking, none of these servers are going to make significant changes, and Mojang won't ever shut them down because being pay to win isn't against their commercial usage guidelines, even though many misinformed individuals may claim that. So, at the end of the day, there is nothing we can do as YouTubers and players to remove gambling from these servers, and therefore, these videos are the best way for me to reach the most people and tell them why gambling on these servers is bad and not to do it. It's really quite straightforward. Anyways, be sure to check out my server, og-network.net, and be sure to subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching.